I wanted to share an infuriating story about measles that I came across the other day. So, as we all know, the measles outbreaks are skyrocketing throughout the country. But there was one story in particular, a 7-year-old boy in South Carolina that contracted measles that really made us so angry. 7-year-old Ethan contracted measles, and he's now in the hospital with brain swelling. And his father basically said he's basically paralyzed at this point. We're hoping for the best.
He is getting a little bit of movement back in his arm, so that is a good thing. But I mean, I think the part that really infuriates, if you're a parent more than anything else, throughout this whole ordeal, she's facing her child, at the minimum, having some long-term side effects. At the worst, dying from this. The quote is, "I still wouldn't have given my son the vaccine." Knowing what she knows now, knowing that this is a possible outcome, she still wouldn't have given her kid the vaccine. So these people are so fucked in the head that they hate modern medicine, or they hate that aspect of modern medicine, with vaccines. But Nick, where is she? Where are they right now?
Well, they're in the hospital
Oh,
with Ethan. Yeah, yeah, they're
okay.
waiting. Basically, he's in God's hands, as she's mother says, but they're also relying on modern medicine to heal him any way possible.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
but they didn't take that route at first. So he goes to the hospital, and they want to put him on all these antibiotics. Ethan, he's a 7-year-old. Of course, he doesn't want to be there. So he's pushing back. He's not eating. And the doctors suggest that they send him to a specialist hospital where he can be be closely monitored, give more antibiotics. The parents pull him home. They say, no, we're gonna bring him home. Parents bring him home. He gets worse. And so now he's back in the hospital. I just
yep.
don't
But not
understand.
just, but the here's the thing, right? So not just the original hospital, they had to go to a bigger hospital. They had to
Mhm.
go to a hospital that's more advanced, with more modern medicine and more modern machinery and more IVs and more chemicals to put into him to try to save his life. Now they want to rely on it. They don't want to just put it in God's hands anymore. I mean, this is asinine. She lacks humility. She lacks what feels like remorse for this, because she's so proud in her stance of being anti-vax. Like, that's some virtuous hill to die on. Meanwhile, her kid is at risk of dying from something that we thought we had eradicated.
Yeah, if this was my kid, I would be inconsolable. I would be guilt-ridden that, that I did something to cause this. I mean, essentially, if she gives him the vaccine, he's not on the verge of dying, or, is currently paralyzed or whatever. I mean, he could have now life-altering issues for the rest of his life. And this could have easily been avoided. I mean,
Yeah.
really easily avoided, right?
From just a cavalier attitude about your own child based on some beliefs, because people like RFK and whoever the fuck else on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok are telling you about these one-off cases that exist. But you got to play the numbers. You have to play the odds. You have to play the odds. There's been less people to die from measles, from vaccines, in the history of since, because that, I know they had to tweak it, and we were talking about back in like the 30s or 40s, right? And there was a version that was kind of dangerous, or maybe even before, in like the 1800s when they first came out. So there was a version way, 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 way back in the day that was dangerous, and then they fixed it. And since that version has come out, the deaths and the side effects from measles, total cases has been less than what we've experienced in the last 5 years. With RFK and this whole Maha movement, this whole anti-vax movement that's been going strong since COVID.
Yeah, we talked about Maha and how they're not getting what they wanted, around glyphosate, but around the vaccines, I think they're getting exactly what they wanted. And they're
Right.
probably, frankly, biting off more than they can chew.
But look at this cavalier attitude. This is a quote, right? If all they're doing is antibiotics, maybe he'll be more comfortable at home, and we don't have to put him through this, his mom said, explaining her thought process and encouraged by the fact that Ethan appeared to have regained some strength. He could drink water by himself and walk a short distance to the bathroom. Less than 48 hours later, on January 30th, Ethan's condition deteriorated to the point where he had no movement at all. His mom said it felt like his body was slowly moving mobility, she recalled. Then what did they do? They rushed him to a local doctor who took him to the bigger hospital, Greenville Memorial Hospital. So even in this moment, instead of going to where she was told, hey, if something happens, you're gonna have to go back to this hospital it's in the best interest of your son and saving his life. This proud, dumb fucking woman decided to go to her local doctor, who says, what the fuck are you doing bringing him to me? He needs to go to this hospital. Oh, dude, like, she should get charged with fucking child neglect, like attempted manslaughter. This is ridiculous.
Those things are all just aggravating. But the one quote that got me, they asked her again about Ethan's ordeal, and she said, quote, yes, it hurts. Of course, it hurts. But God has chosen Ethan for a reason. God is doing something, and we're going to glorify his name regardless. The thing is, like, you can absolve yourself of anything, right? Because you just say, God has chosen Ethan for a reason. So, like, whatever's happening to Ethan, I didn't do it. There's nothing I did. It's because of God chose Ethan. And if she just gave him the fucking vaccine, there would be no measles outbreak in her family, and Ethan wouldn't be in the hospital. Full stop. That's it, right? There's no disagreement there. But instead, to absolve herself of the guilt, if she even could feel it, she's just saying, well, God chose Ethan for a reason. It's so maddening to me because, again, I'm a parent. And then I have kids basically the same age as Ethan. And if I knew I did something to cause my kids that much harm, I would be devastated. I don't know what I would do, but I just wouldn't be able to be given these interviews saying, oh, shit happens. God. I would be blaming myself constantly.
I seen a chart, right? And this chart is very similar to the chart because this one only has 2 lines, but this line right here shows all the measles cases in the U.S. for 2023. There were 58 cases. Then 2024, 97 cases. If this chart was showing 2000, and look it up yourself, 2025 cases, it'd be up here. It would be parabolic. And I want to say we're already outpacing. We might outnumber the amount of cases this year than what we had all of last year. So this is just going to keep going up. And so you're going to see a disingenuous argument coming from the right that they're going to say that this is the fault of illegal immigration. Illegal immigration is the reason why we have all these measles cases, right? That's what they're going to say. So it takes a simple Google, right? Do Central and South American countries vaccinate kids for measles? Yes. Central and South American countries have established national immunization programs that include vaccines for measles, typically the MMR, mumps, measles, rubella, for children. This is their policy. And then, they'll say, oh, well, they're coming from Africa. Well, listen, if you're going to come from Africa, right, you got to come on an airplane. You're not sailing across the Atlantic, I tell you that much. And so the USA requires proof of measles vaccination. Why do we do that if it's not a big deal? Like, why are we requiring other countries to show proof? Give them a good idea.
It's the dumbest argument. So just to back up real quick. So CNN is reporting that there's 1,030 cases of measles so far in January or so far in 2026. So the first 2 months, 1,030, which is already...
have 10x'd all of last year.
Yeah. So the argument that you just brought up is the dumbest argument, because why would the measles cases be spiking in 2026 if it was the immigrants? We've essentially closed the border.
I'm only bringing it up just so hopefully the people that watch this could be prepared to know that this is an argument that they're going to make. So that way you're prepared to be like, well, actually, South and Central American countries require vaccines. Like, they have national immunization. They give their children vaccines. And if they're going to be coming in from Africa, another scapegoat, right? Chances are they're going to come on a plane. They're going to overstay their visa, right? But to have a visa, they have to show proof of vaccination.
Yeah, I hear all that. But again, like, if it was the immigrants, then you would have saw a spike in the Biden years, right? But you just don't see it. The spike's happening subsequent to MAGA's assault on the vaccines, subsequent to RFK being a lunatic about vaccines. I mean, you also have the president, right, talking about vaccines and the dangers of vaccines. He's talking about get them like spaced out, get them like 3 times. Don't get all the shots in one go at the doctor's office. Like, the fact that they're even doing that, just...
He even has a medical opinion and like actually giving medical advice in terms of scheduling vaccines is insane. Absolutely insane. Him and the head of HHS. Absolutely insane. But listen, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the bell icon to get notified when we drop a new episode, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
And prayers up for Ethan. Peace.